The first episode of season 36 of The Simpsons just aired the other day and kind of took a bit of a callback where it kind of began where it was kind of making fun of all these series finale films and shows, and there was quite a lot there because they said that this was the final episode of The Simpsons, despite it not being that because it was the first episode of season 36. But I recently put out a poll asking, is it time for The Simpsons to end? And most of you voted no, which I was actually quite surprised by because I don't think everyone thinks that Simpsons is at its best point right now. I think since season 9, they've taken a massive dip in quality, and I still like The Simpsons, but it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. I mean, there's an overuse of product placement. It's not as funny. It's too modern. They're trying to be too cool with these Gen Z jokes and things like that. So there's a lot of things like that which just don't really hit as much, and I just don't think the characters are as likable or as fun as they used to be. And part of me feels a bit like, as much as I love The Simpsons, it's literally one of my favourite shows. Is it time for The Simpsons to end? And when could The Simpsons end? Because personally, I think we're closer to the end of Simpsons than we are the beginning. I could be completely wrong on that. I mean, it makes a lot of money. Disney now own Fox, so they have a lot more of the rights and the choices regarding that. I think the big question is, though, when will The Simpsons end? Now, we're currently on season 36. I personally think the maximum that they'll go to is around 1,500. I think the minimum is 1,000. That's kind of like a rough thing. I mean, I think to make 2,000 episodes of a TV show is absolutely insane, and I just don't see that happening personally. I mean, if it did, great, I'm all there for it, but you know. And another thing is, how would they end this if The Simpsons was to end? I think I think Matt Groening was asked about this, and one of the things he said was if they were stuck in like a time loop. So the final episode of The Simpsons ends the way that the show began. That's interesting. I like that because it leaves it in quite a heartfelt and happy manner almost. So I quite like that choice of plotline. However, you know, how far away are we? So, I personally think that we're going to go past season 40. I think season 50 is definitely on the table. I think the rate that they're going at is still, still right. And another thing to put in question is, these actors are getting old. Like, you can just tell by their voices. They're aging, and it's almost like, I mean, as much as they love it, do you not want to try something new before retire or before, because like they've been doing this for so long now, and it's like, do you really want to leave it there and then that just be the end of it? And a lot of these actors are aging, in particular with Marge. The actress of Marge sounds a lot different these days, and it just ponders the question, will these actors retire or something like that? Because obviously I think because they've gone this far in, if one of them was to retire, they couldn't go any further with the show. You cannot recast someone that late into a series. And, could we get a Simpsons movie too? This is something which I've wanted for so long because I love the first Simpsons movie so much. I think it's so funny, it's delightful, it's heartfelt, it kept the lore going well, it was really funny. I would love to see The Simpsons end with the Simpsons movie too. I think that would be the perfect way to end this. You could go, the characters are aging, Bart graduates from school and Lisa's moving up to high school, things like that. You could elevate the story a bit more. Obviously, they have said they want to stay in the time loop and things. I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't find some way of concluding it. but we don't know at this point in time. I know, before anyone asks, all those episodes where it shows like the character's future, I don't think any of them are actually real. I don't think any of them are actually going to become reality in that form. However, I personally think that there is definitely some. As much as I like the story of them being in this time loop, and it starts the way that it began, and I just think it's a little bit on the nose almost. Like, I like the ending, I think it's good, but like, I'd like to see these characters enter a new phase of life because we've spent so much time with them. And I think it'd actually pack like an emotional punch to the audience quite a lot if they were to do this. But I don't really know more than that. I just kind of wanted to make this video because I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and people have been saying, has The Simpsons just ended? No, it's not ended yet, but I definitely think it's on the table. I mean, I've thought this for about 3 or 4 years, I think, because I think when, you know, with Disney and everything, I think they're becoming a lot more self-aware of themselves, and I just kind of wish that they'd listen to the fans a bit more. Like, I would hate to see this show end the way that it's going at the moment, because it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. I would love to see it reach its peak again, you know, and things like that. Maybe just add less product placement and more out there jokes rather than these boring layered jokes. Things like that. They just need to improve the show a little bit more, and I think you've got yourself a great series there. But that's all I've got to say on that topic. So that's going to wrap up this video. I thank you so much for watching. Please comment, and subscribe, share this with your friends and family. And when do you think The Simpsons is going to end, and how do you think it'll end? What ending do you think they'll do? And do you think we'll get a second Simpsons film? And please, if you do it, make it go to cinemas. I don't want it going straight to Disney Plus. That'll be so boring. But that is all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.